massive 2-mile track where side-by-side racing at speeds approaching 200 miles per hour attracts legions of fans. Weather threatens today, so the cars are already on the track, and center stage in our coverage, a dose of trading places, a racing commentator and a commentating racer. As you look at the starting lineup at the bottom of the screen, let's check with the racing commentator.
All right, Wally Dallenbach, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Got you, BP.
All right, first race in a good while. How you feel?
I am excited. I feel good.
Hey, Wally, this is Tony Stewart.
Tony, did you get my care package up there?
Yeah, I got a nice Coke up here that you sent and a couple cowtails. I don't know what those are about yet, but I'll check it out. Hey, I got a question for you. I mean, I know you haven't been driving for a while, so, I mean, you think you're going to be able to stay in the seat all day, or am I going to have to get down there and get suited up?
Well, first of all, that's a Pepsi, not a Coke. Second of all, I've been waiting a year for this. I think I can make it. So, stand by today, buddy.
All right, pal. Well, if you start getting tired, make sure you give me enough time to get down there and get changed so I can get down there and get ready.
I definitely will.
All right, pal. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our racing commentator today, Wally Dallenbach, starting in the 26th position in a Pepsi car. And our commentating racer, joining Betty and I in the booth, is Tony Stewart, winner last week at Watkins Glen. Great to have you here, and look forward to having some fun this afternoon. These guys did not get any race practice because of rain yesterday. You were out on the track this morning in your Home Depot car. What conditions did they face?
Well, the funny thing was a lot of the guys in practice came down to the Busch guys came down to their cup partners during the intermission between the first 45-minute session and the second 45-minute session, checking to see how the cars were driving, how the track conditions were changing. Mike McLaughlin came running down after our first 45-minute session, spent a lot of time with Zippy while I was off doing some other things, but the conditions changed a lot. We ran the first 45-minute session, a lot of grip in the racetrack. Second 45-minute session, track gave up a lot of bit, a lot of slipping and sliding around there. Cars were going all the way to the bottom of the racetrack to the line, all the way up by the wall. So I think you're going to see a wide variety of lines, and depending on how your car's handling is where you're going to be on the racetrack.
And a lot of those guys, the cars are sitting on the jack stand this morning waiting to get the word from their competitors down in the NASCAR Winston Cup after that first practice session. What do we do to our cars, to our Busch cars, to get them ready? Talk about the 21 car, Jeff Green. He practiced this morning, so he was able to tell his guys what to do to his car.
Besides our commentating racer and our racing commentator today, we've got a great championship fight in the Busch Series 2. Let's check on pit road with Matt Yoakum.
Alan Point leader Greg Biffle is trying to keep that huge wave of momentum alive, but he starts all the way back in 28th. In the past 10 races this season, 9 top 3 finishes. I talked to Kevin Starlin, the car chief. He told me this morning they were guessing on the setup. Part of Jeff Burton, his teammate's shock package, and part of the setup, their race trim setup from last year. They're hoping that that guessing pays off with his first Busch win here to go with his 2 Truck Series wins. Dave Burns?
Matt, the guy chasing Biffle in the championship is Jason Keller. 2 weeks ago at IRP, when he finished second to Biffle, they realized that they needed help on pit road to pick up speed, to be fast in the pits. So the crew agreed that they would hire Winston Cup tire changers and tire carriers. They went to the 55 team of Bobby Hamilton. They have hired those 4 guys to pit their car this weekend and for the rest of the season. They've never practiced together. It'll be the first time when they go today. Marty Snyder?
Well, Dave, we talked about the disadvantage of these Busch Series teams having no practice in race trim and the advantage Winston Cup drivers have. But Jeff Burton took nothing from his Winston Cup car and put it on the Busch car. I asked Brad Parrott why that was the case, the crew chief. He said because we feel very confident with our race setup. After all, they won Las Vegas, a track very similar to Michigan. And even though this is a brand new car, they think they have a great shot for the win today. Alan?
Half a lap from the green flag. Guys who have not practiced on race trim, most of these Busch Series drivers, BP, a little extra nervous about this first corner?
They have to be. Although the pole sitter, Kevin LePage, all his practice yesterday was with race setup. They just kind of threw something at them for qualifying, and guess what? He gets on the pole in that 37 car.
Well, keep one thing also in mind. This is the only time that the Busch Grand National Series gets a chance to come to Michigan. We're here for a second time with the Winston Cup cars where, like you said, none of these guys this year with this combination of tire and this aero package, none of these guys have had a lap here in race trim. So it's going to be very surprising for a lot of guys when they get down to that first corner to see what they've got.
We've got cameras all over Wally's car today.
Wally's covered up with cameras. That's inside the Pepsi Dodge.
Got onboard communications from a couple of different sources as well, so we'll check in with Wally throughout the day. Getting set to go here at Michigan. This is a 250-mile race on a 2-mile track, 125 laps, very few cautions traditionally in this race, and fuel mileage has dictated the winner several times in years past. Kevin LePage brings him down for the start. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Michigan on TNT is green.
Check it out. Scott Riggs had those two cars side by side. Kevin LePage and Michael Waltrip just drives by from his third spot and takes the lead.
Riggs on the break to the point. Kevin LePage runs second. They're double wide for third. It's Jason Keller to the inside of Michael Waltrip. Keller in the 57, Mikey in the 99. And here comes LePage looking back for that lead.
Scott Riggs, a 10 car, will lead the first lap. Hank Parker Jr., the red and white 36 on the inside of 21.
Kevin LePage digging hard to get that top spot back. Squeezed up in front of Riggs.
This week.
Picked up 3 spots in his first lap.
Jimmy Spencer, the 1 car on the inside.
Here's Michael Waltrip on Scott Riggs for second, the 99 car.
Michael was one of the fastest cars in Winston Cup practice this morning, so it's going to be no surprise to see him up close to the front today.
Place cars are teammates. So they'll work together here a little bit to try and sort their cars out.
Oh, you're 4 wide.
With Wally on the outside.
Yeah, but he wasn't scared, though. He just stayed in the gas and got back. Out of the 4 cars, he ended up second going in that corner.
And he's trying to come back on the inside of Biffle. Talking about dialing back in the 6th.
Spencer in the 1 just went through the both of those. Spencer to 21st, Biffle 22nd, Wally's 23rd. That's Mike McLaughlin and the Joe Gibbs 18 right behind him.
You can already see guys clear from the bottom of the track, 2/3 the way up the racetrack, and that's not uncommon here. Michigan is a very, very nice track for being able to provide many, many different routes. And depending on how your car is driving, you can move around. If your car's tight, you can move down. If your car's loose, you can move up. So it gives the driver an opportunity to at least do what he needs to do as a driver to get the right handling of his car.
Michael Waltrip trying to take an opportunity to get the lead.
And he does. Now Jason Keller trying to go by in 3rd spot. Scott Riggs has gotten by for 2nd. Riggs looking for the lead. Oh, a little smoke off that 10. Did it bottom out maybe?
That's probably the valence early in the race here. It'll grind its way and it'll kind of find its own height where it wants to be. But early in the race, it's not uncommon to see the valence drag and get a little bit of smoke from that.
Side by side for the top spot with Riggs and Michael Waltrip. Got Kevin LePage, Jason Keller, all in that mix. Jeff Burton has moved up as well. He's in 5th place.
And Michael Waltrip already just a few laps into the race, as high as he could go up in 3 and 4 almost.
Another lead change. You're talking about how wide this racetrack is, Tony. It's one of the things I know you drivers just love about this place. The ability to hunt a spot on the track that your car will run and have it be just as fast as another spot on the track.
That and it eliminates another variable that's been a topic that's been too common this year, and that's aero push. You know, the good thing about this track being as wide is you don't have to follow a guy right behind him in the corner, where a lot of the tracks we run, the grid is right on the bottom of the line. You're able to move around, move up and down on the straightaways, break the draft, move around and find good clean air. So it gives you an opportunity to do more of a job as a driver than relying on the aero balance of the car.
On that green car, the 9 car, he has gained 6 spots since the start of this race. Jeff Burton
in the gain car. Ooh, little wiggle there for Keller when Burton got up behind him. Now, that would be Keller's heart going boom, boom.
Yes, exactly. And Bobby Hamilton Jr., the 25 car. Look at Burton right down on that white line that separates the apron from the racetrack.
And that's normally a sign of a really good handling car. It's really, really hard because down toward the apron, just above that white line, it's a little bit flatter banking than it is about 40 feet off the bottom. So if you can get your car to stick down on the bottom, you normally have a really good driving car.
8 laps, 5 lead changes. Gonna be a fun one. The Cabela's 125, just under a 250 rather, here in Michigan. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Michigan on TNT is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By Midas. Come to Midas for everything you need in total car care. Midas, we do that. And by AT&T Wireless. Welcome to M Life.
Well, guess what? The 9 car.
Another lead change.
Burke has gone to the front. Michael Waltrip in second spot. The leader, Scott Riggs, a couple of laps ago. He's back in third, about to lose that to Bobby Hamilton Jr. This is good stuff.
That would be 7 lead changes in 12 laps. Maybe they don't need to have race practice more often.
I'm voting for no race practice in this series. They're doing a great job.
Caution, turn 4. One car spinning around. Looks like Dan Shaver in the 49 car.
I spoke too soon about good job so far.
Shaver is a 52-year-old from Charlotte who has a background in IMSA road racing and also the Goodies Dash series of NASCAR and the ARCA series. This is his second Busch Series race ever.
All right, now, lap 13 puts up, I would think the crew chiefs right now have to really be wondering if they stop now, they can probably make it on one more stop. Probably. And if you're at the rear of the field and need some adjustments on the chassis and what have you, sure. Let's see if they'll stop. All right, let's ask Wally how the track is. Wally, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Yeah, BP.
Well, how's the racetrack?
Track is good, real good. I can't run high. I'm a little bit tight up top. The track's in good condition.
You going to pit?
I think we're going to pit. Car's pretty good. Like I said, we're a little bit tight, but I hate to lose this track position, so I think we're going to stay out.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Wally took the caution in 21st place. He started in 26th, so he's picked up 5 spots in those opening laps. A couple other guys on the move pretty well in the opening go. Todd O'Ryan has gained a number of positions. He qualified in the 19th spot, and Todd is up to 8th right now. And the 21 car, Jeff Green, up to 5th from 12th starting spot. So he's another one that's been on the move early.
All right, to come off the corner, the pit road is now open. Who will stop?
Another factor to consider here about that, Benny, NASCAR is going to throw a caution at lap 25 because there was no race practice to allow the teams to check out their cars. And they are still going to do that. And we see Ron Hornaday. Looks like he was the first one to break off the track. He was in 12th place. Jeff Burton out in front early here in Michigan. Half a lap away from the green flag, we check our Wendy's race menu. Tomorrow, it's Winston Cup racing from here in Michigan. Coverage starting at 1:30 Eastern time on TNT. Then next Saturday night, the night race at Bristol.
Oh, yes.
Followed by the Southern 500, the night race on the short track in Richmond. Got some great action for you coming up over the next month here on TNT. Coming to the restart, cars who pitted under this caution, about half the field came in. Ron Hornaday was the first of them to stop. He was in 12th place. Jamie McMurray, Kerry Earnhardt, Scott Wimmer, Mike McLaughlin. Got the Randy LaJoie car came in. Ashton Lewis, Steve Grissom driving for Jimmy Spencer now, and a number of others a little farther back in the field. Jack Sprague pitted.
Green flag, green flag.
Wally did not.
Checking the 87 car. And look, Michael's got him right and left, both sides. Stay in the middle, Michael.
No, he didn't get through that corner at all.
No, he didn't. a battle for second spot. Bobby Hamilton Jr., 25.
And Scott Ridge in the 10. And BP, what I was starting to say just a second ago while you were watching Michael was that this only is a 10-lap sprint right now. They are still planning on throwing the caution at lap 25. Let's check on that third-place car. Marty?
Yeah, lap 9, he was in the lead, Alan. Scott Riggs was radioed into the crew, so the car's getting extremely tight. And then on lap 10, he lost the lead. Now, I asked Harold Holley, his crew chief, this morning, did you guys practice race setups at all? He said, no, we didn't need to because we tested here for 2 days, came up with a great race setup. They're very comfortable. Scott, other than being tight right now, is very happy with the car.
Continues to run in third place, just ahead of his teammate there, the 57 of Jason Keller. Now, while Jason runs in fourth, his rival for the Busch Series Championship, Greg Biffle, is stuck back in traffic in 17th place. It's early, but it's good if you're a Keller fan.
But Biffle started in 28th, so he has worked his way forward to 11 spots. You can see Nemechek, the 87, Stacy Compton in 59. Battle for the, what, 8th? 9th?
8th.
You talked about this being a short sprint. It's still important to get as much track position as you can, because now you're racing to the yellow. Now you're going to try to be the first one in the pits, first one out of the pits. So even though this really isn't a big stretch of green flag runs, and it really doesn't seem like it's very important, it is important to these teams to get that track position. So when you do come in and for the pit stops, to try to get out and get a good track position, because it might be a long run after that. So if you get good track position after the pit stop, you may not have to work your car and your tires so hard after the stop.
Jason Keller, 57, trying to get by the 25 car, Hamilton Jr. for second spot. Okay, drive up, Jason, clear. And he did.
Maybe you should be spotting for Wally.
You know, we talked about Greg Biffle just a moment ago. He's in the 17th position. There he is. Right behind him is Wally. Man, what's going on with Biffle? Oh, loose.
Well, Benny, they were exactly talking about the 60 car being loose on entry.
He's coming to pit road to you, Matt. He just got really...
That vibration that I've been feeling the whole weekend was the motor. Because I felt it at the start of the race, too.
What a huge moment in the Busch Series Championship, and you were riding right behind him. Greg Biffle has lost an engine, and he's the first car out at Michigan.
Oh, man, 21 car. Jeff Green goes by the 10. That moves him into the 5th position. Here comes the 92 of Todd Bodine.
This has not been a good racetrack for Greg Biffle. He, last year, was the first car out of this race also. If my memory serves correct, he was in an accident just 5 laps into the race and finished 43rd. He's going to finish 43rd today, while his rival for the Busch Series Championship, Jason Keller, is now in 2nd spot. We'll take a break here, then come back for that caution in the pit stops. NASCAR on TNT is at the Michigan International Speedway, where Jeff Burton leads today's Cabela's 250. Got a pretty substantial advantage of a 2nd and a 3rd on Jason Keller. Michael Waltrip, Jeff Green, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. now filling out the rest of the top 5. Green and Hamilton Jr. trading those positions last lap. TNT's with live coverage of NASCAR with our racing commentator and our commentating racer today. We've got Wally Dallenbach out on track in his Pepsi machine, having started in 26th position and moved up to 18th. And Tony Stewart has slipped into Wally's seat in the booth here. Driver of the Home Depot Pontiac, winner last week at Watkins Glen on the Winston Cup Tour. And he is all set to go for tomorrow's Pepsi 400 here at Michigan. Exciting race so far.
So far, it's been fantastic, and it's going to get better because there's going to be a caution flag in a couple of laps. These guys that haven't pitted will pit. The guys that did won't, so we'll see a big mix-up in the running order.
Rain meant no practice yesterday in race trim for these cars, so NASCAR will throw a caution flag just a moment from now or so to allow these teams to come in and check their vehicles over, though we have had one yellow already in the race.
See, Wally currently 19th. All right, Matt, a little disappointment down that 60 pit.
Biffle fell out of the race a minute ago. I believe Matt Yoakum is down there to get a word with him.
And he's talking to Jack Roush, the owner of the 60 car right now. Biffle had an 82-point lead coming into Michigan. 2 Truck Series wins here, but Snake Bit, both Busch races here are 43rd. This is going to be a big hit in the points for you, Greg. When you notice you had a problem, did you feel something in practice yesterday?
Yeah, when we unloaded the Granger car from the truck, I had a vibration, and we weren't able to isolate it. We changed the drive shaft, changed the rear gear, and we didn't change the transmission, but we didn't have any practice. No practice here at all with the rain. We failed to make the Cup race because we only made 3 qualifying runs over there. And we failed to find out we had an engine problem here with this car because we didn't have any practice. So really hurt us this weekend.
A tough early exit for the point leader.
And the caution flag is out, the mandatory caution that we told you about that NASCAR was going to throw to allow teams after 25 laps of racing to check over their cars because of the lack of practice. Catch up there, Dennis. Dennis Dillard, driver of the pace car there in the Busch Series, trying to get up there in front of the leader.
All right, let's try. Hey, Wally, BP, you got me?
Yeah, BP.
Okay, you going to pit this time?
Going to pit this time, get 4 new Goodyears on this baby, and loosen it up a little bit off. Car's dynamite getting into the corner. I mean, it's really fun driving this thing into one. So if we can keep that and not give up anything else, I think we can pick a few more off.
Has Eddie, Tommy, and the guys told you what they're going to do to the car to loosen it up?
I think we're going to probably just make a slight air pressure adjustment, and we're going to make a track bar adjustment.
All right, we'll watch it.
All right.
Hopefully Wally remembers that the pit road speed limit today is 55 miles an hour. He's a little out of practice with this.
Maybe I should warn him. No, that would be cheating. That'd be a mild form of cheating.
Let's just watch. How's that? Jeff Burton, Jason Keller, Michael Waltrip, Jeff Green, and Todd Bodine will be the front 5 coming in. There are about 15 cars at the back of the field who pitted under the last caution. We'll see how many of them stay on the racetrack. Here they come. Marty?
They come slowly down pit road. Jeff Burton, the leader, is really loose in 1 and 2 and really tight in 3 and 4. He thinks the wind is having an effect there. They'll take a pound out of the left rear tire. They will also make a wedge adjustment. Michael Waltrip behind Jeff Burton on pit road. He is in the 3rd position. Little loose everywhere for Michael Waltrip. They're going to change the air pressure on the left sides and make a wedge adjustment for his number 99 Chevrolet. Dave?
Marty, remember the tire changers and tire carriers for Jason Keller are new. They did have to make an adjustment to the track bar to fix a loose off condition. He's also pushing the nose going in. The line at the end of pit road will tell if they've improved.
Well, he beat Jeff Burton out. If Jeff don't run over the cone.
It was at Indianapolis Raceway Park where they had the lead until coming down pit road. Jason Keller's team, they lost the lead to Greg Biffle's and made those changes to the crew that Dave Burns was outlining a moment ago.
All right, here we go, Wally. Trying to get out pit road right behind Kenny Wallace. Almost drives in the 92 car.
But cleanly out.
Cleanly out.
Under caution for the 2nd time here in Michigan. We'll reset the running order for you in just a minute on TNT. 1 lap away from the restart here at Michigan International Speedway. Checking our Stacker 2 race fact. Mark Martin, the only man who's pulled off the double in a weekend. Winning both Saturday and Sunday. Did it back in 1993. Well, you can't do it this weekend because you're not racing today.
Yeah, but I would take tomorrow, trust me.
I guarantee.
All right, let's check. Hey, Wally, BP, what you got for us?
I was just going to tell Tony, and I know he knows what I'm talking about, with all these cameras and radios, well, I can't speed down pit road. I can't cheat, because you guys can see the tack. I can't give any bad gestures to my fellow competitors. I can't get angry and say any bad words. This is tough.
I feel your pain right now, pal.
All right, well, good luck. Where is Wally for the restart here? He is in 23rd place.
Hey, Wally, what'd you do about kill the engine trying to leave the pits?
I just didn't get it in there straight. I was a sissy pulling in, so I didn't get it in real good. Just trying to be too careful.
All right, next time be a little more aggressive, okay?
All right, I'll aim for right front tire changer. No, I'll be more careful.
All right.
Coming to the green here. The first two cars in line are Jamie McMurray and Scott Wimmer, and they both came down pit road but only took fuel under this caution. They were among the cars who pitted the first yellow back at lap 13. So fuel only on these first two. Then Jason Keller got off pit road first in that 57.
Ready, green flag, go, go, go.
I think a lot of the crew chiefs will be watching too to see how these first two cars react without taking tires versus the cars that did take tires, and see if there is an advantage or disadvantage to taking or not taking tires.
Trick is you kind of have to know how they were running before the stop, right?
I'm sure those two guys in front felt like they were running really good, and that's why they made that decision. But to really know how those cars are going to react versus the guys that took 2 tires or 4 tires, it's still a gamble at this point.
All right, Jason Keller, the 57 car, we told you, as he goes by the 4-second spot by Scott Wimmer. We told you that they had gone to the 55 car, gotten the tire changer, tire carriers, and it worked very well for him because of the cars that changed tires. He was the first car off pit road.
Got him track position ahead of Jeff Burton. So Keller to second, Burton to third as Scott Wimmer slips back to fourth. Here they come, 3 deep there. Michael Waltrip in the middle, Jeff Green down low.
And Scott Wimmer on the outside.
Will slide through there and pick up 5th place. There's Mike McLaughlin in the 18.
And here they come for the lead. Jason Keller, 57. All right, has he led a lap yet, Alan? He just did. All right, 5 bonus points for that 57 car. So the hole for Greg Biffle just gets a little bit deeper. Dave, those guys down the pit pretty happy now, I guess, aren't they?
Well, Steve Addington, the crew chief, had a satisfied look when his driver took the lead, but how about that pit stop? You were the first of the guys that took 4 tires. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, we're really satisfied, and I appreciate Jimmy Elledge and Andy Petrie letting me use his tire changers this weekend. Maybe we can get this Albertsons Ford in victory lane. My guys have really been working hard on their pit stops, but we were just struggling at the racetrack, and I think we're going to keep working with them, even though we're going to work with these guys here for a few races.
Well, that's what they did tell me. It's not like they didn't try to improve their pit stops. They worked, and they finally decided they needed to take a step up.
You know, that's such a tough call for Steve Addington, because while he gains on race day here on these pit stops, he risked damaging the morale of his team as they were in the fight for a championship.
But again, I think those teams the guys on the team realize winning the championship, after all, that is the goal, is not having a pit stop that's a half a second better or worse than the other competition. Winning the championship, that's what they're trying to do. And those guys on the 55 car can do that.
Jeff Burton, Jamie McMurray, 2nd and 3rd place, and here comes Michael Waltrip into that picture in the 99.
Talking to Clarence Brewer this morning on the 27 car, the owner of the 27 car, and told me the Williams sponsorship will be going away at the end of this year, so he's actively seeking out sponsorship for Jamie McMurray. All right, here we go.
This is for 7th place, BP.
Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Hamilton Jr., and that 33 car, back about 10th, Tony Raines started 35th. Terrific run for Tony. He's about to lose a spot now to Nemechek.
We talked about Scott Wimmer taking no tires on that stop. He and Jamie McMurray. Second thoughts now from his pit, Matt?
Well, Booty Barker, the crew chief, you pitted early to get tires and to fix that car, and now a gas and go, but the car is still fading, Booty. What's wrong with it?
Right now, it's a little loose in, a little tight off, which is tough to fix, but we have track position now. We're up there pretty good, so I just wanted to ride. I'll get it fixed the next stop.
Concerned at all about having 13 extra laps on those tires?
Sure, but track position is more important, and I just want to get a few adjustments in, so we'll be okay.
Wimmer continues to fade all the way back to 12th now.
And that blue car right behind Scott Wimmer is Casey Kane, Channellock car Are you familiar? Have you raced open wheels against him, Tony?
Absolutely. That kid is tough. You know, in his first year in the Busch Car National Series, he went through his bumps and bruises, but he just keeps getting stronger and stronger. He had a good run going at IRP, and he's running really, really strong here today, so I'm really proud of him.
He's a 22-year-old from Enumclaw, Washington is his hometown, but he's raced open wheel cars a lot. Kind of the Tony Stewart path up to Winston Cup through the USAC Series in the Midwest. And Dave, as the season goes on, he seems to be gaining a little confidence.
Well, and Tony mentioned the IRP race. He qualified 10th, which was great. It ended up finishing 15th. And on his off weekend, a la Tony Stewart once again, he went and raced at the Knoxville Nationals. So he stays in sprint cars when he can.
How'd you do at Knoxville? Do you hear?
I didn't hear I did at Knoxville. I know we ran 4th with Danny Lasowski, but
16th.
16th, all right.
And let me tell you, 16th is not bad at the Knoxville Nationals, considering they have over 120 cars there, so that's pretty impressive.
It's Wally racing here with Scott Wimmer, and Casey Mears is going to put him 3 deep.
All right, Casey Mears, good run in that 66 car.
Got this going on for 13th, 14th, and 15th places right now. Up front, Jason Keller is the leader. His rival for the Busch Series championship, Greg Biffle, is out of the race with an engine failure. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. The massive 2-mile Michigan International Speedway, home to NASCAR this weekend. Tomorrow, it's the Winston Cup Pepsi 400. Today, live on TNT, it's the NASCAR Busch Series in the Cabela's 250. During that Winston Cup race tomorrow, you can experience more in-car camera action with NASCAR In-Car on In Demand. You get 5 in-car camera channels with virtual dashboards, real-time in-car data, and live team audio. There's the number to call, 1-888-SPORTS-IN, if you'd like to order the half-season package, only on digital cable.
Jeff Green, the 21 car, goes by Scott Riggs, takes away the 5th position.
And just ahead of them, the other red and white car there in the group is Todd Bodine, who has just passed both of them in the last 3 laps. He is flying.
He is charging to the front. Todd's really good on these big tracks. He's really good about keeping his car where he can get through the center of the corner really well and get up off. And that's what you have to do here. These corners being as big and long as they are, the key to being fast here is being able to keep that momentum up through the center third of the corner.
He's won here a couple times before, Marty. Looking good today.
Yeah, now, and you got to remember, he started 19th, too, really coming up to the field for Todd. His crew chief just on the radio a moment ago, Tony Liberati, said, you have the car to win the race. Now you got to take care of it. They're getting towards the front. And a lot of these teams who took 4 tires, Todd being one of them on the last stop, may try 2 on the very last stop, and that may set them up for more track position, which will help out even a little bit more.
And again, Todd up to the number 4 spot.
And all of a sudden, Jason Keller is starting to fall back to Michael Waltrip, Jeff Burton, and the rest of the field. Last couple of laps, he slowed down about a half-second a lap. There we see Michael Waltrip closing in. Dave, has Jason said anything on the radio about a problem?
Not a thing, Benny. Not a thing that I've heard.
Huh.
Went back to green at lap 30, so we put 15 laps on this set of tires. Maybe enough time for air pressure and things like that to start affecting the handling of his car.
Yeah, 15 straight laps will build a lot of heat in the tires here, and like we talked about earlier, you know, the sun's been out, the clouds have been in and out. You know, the track conditions could be changing a little bit, and the way that his car was at the beginning of the run, obviously it might be changing a little bit. It's obviously falling off, but we don't know. Maybe getting a little bit tight, a little bit loose. We'll watch his line a little bit and see where we think he's at.
It looks like that he's really looking right now, trying to find a better place on the racetrack to run the 57 car.
Scott Riggs in the 10, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 for 6th and 7th place with very different lines on the racetrack. But so far, Hamilton Jr. not able to use that bottom line to get alongside. Where's Wally?
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, that's sort of my thinking behind using the line, you know.
There goes Wally.
That would be in the 15th position.
Casey Mears, 66, right in front of him.
I tell you, he's got a solid run going here. I mean, for a guy that's been out of the car for a while and running with guys that are running week in and week out, I mean, he's really having a pretty good run today.
Checking out guys who've made rapid progress from the start. We talked about Todd Bodine a minute ago, and you saw Tony Raines. What a drive he's had, too.
And that's Tony Raines, I think, on very, very high on the racetrack, just 4 cars. No, that was Casey Kane, 4 cars in front of Wally.
10 lead changes so far in this race. The record for Michigan lead changes in Busch Series competition is 15. Might set a new mark for that today. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Still working on that record for most lead changes in a Michigan Busch Series race. Michael Waltrip is going to take it away from Jason Keller.
But right behind Michael Waltrip is Jeff Burton.
That would be lead change number 11 of this race. The record is 15. Want to see the best in Major League Baseball action? Tune into the Superstation tonight as the Colorado Rockies take on the Braves. Major League Baseball's best on TBS tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, let's take you back through the field now. Let you know how your favorite driver's running, starting with the leader in Marty Snyder.
Michael Waltrip just took the lead, Alan. He is tight in, loose off. He says, in fact, I'm so loose off, I'm scaring myself. He's had 4 top 10s in his 5 starts here, on his way to just another one today. Jeff Burton is in second, trying to take the lead. Car very good for Jeff. A little loose in 1 and 2, a little tight in 3 and 4. He thinks that's because of the win. He won here in 1998. May take this brand new car to victory lane today. Dave?
Marty, the 57 car of Jason Keller took on 4 tires with the track bar adjustment on that last stop. I just talked to Steve Addington. He says the car is getting tighter. That's the problem that Jason has been having. Marty?
Todd Bodine has been very impressive today. Started 19th. Currently, he is up to the 4th position. And out on the racetrack, the sun helps him. They're a little bit loose, a little looser than they would like. Actually, now Jeff Green has gone around Todd Bodine. We'll talk Jeff Green first. He is a little loose in, or tight in, actually. A little loose off for Jeff Green. The water temperature is a concern for Jeff Green. The 21 car, they want to take some tape off the grill because the water's at 230 right now. Todd Bodine is right behind him. And again, they are a little bit loose. Same car as Chicago that led the most laps and finished second there. Scott Riggs behind all those guys. He is sliding the nose for Scott Riggs, and that's forcing him to run the high line. Scott Riggs back in the 6th position. He is 4th in points, however, and he's had no top 10s in his last 6 races. With Biffle, the points leader, out today, he could gain a lot of points. Dave?
Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s car is still tight, even after they put a rubber in the right rear. Bobby's never had a finish on the lead lap here in 3 starts, but then again, he's never had a year like he's had this year. He won earlier this year in New Hampshire. The 27 of Jamie McMurray was tight a little bit earlier. Remember, they did not take on tires, and Gus got him back out for track position. They're on a great run. They've had top 10s in 5 of the last 7 races, and Jamie has moved all the way up to 8th in the Busch Series points. For the 87 of Joe Nemechek, he's never run well here at Michigan. His best finish is 10th, and right now he reported in on the radio, losing RPM. That is never a good thing. Stacy Compton thought he had a great car here this weekend, but it was really tight. They made a wedge adjustment and a 4-tire change. It's not gotten any better. They did test up here. The 98 of Casey Kane, his car was loose. They changed 4 tires, made an air pressure adjustment, and for right now, he is just a little bit tight off, just recently reporting in on his radio. Alan?
Still a tight fight for the lead up front. It's Michael Waltrip leading, but Jeff Burton is dogging him and trying to find that opening. Now, if Michael's so loose he's scaring himself, he's doing a pretty good job of running scared.
Michael does a lot of things that scares himself. So.
This is true. But Burton is all over him.
That's 0. Brian Refner. The leaders are going by. Uh-oh, we got a tire on the racetrack.
Looks like a casing down on the inside of turn 4, maybe. Ashton Lewis and Steve Grissom. That's caution coming out now for that debris. Ashton Lewis and Steve Grissom both made, and Stanton Barrett both made, all 3 made unscheduled pit stops just before this yellow, so that could have come from one of their cars.
Tough break for those 3 cars that just made those pit stops. It's Larry Gunsman in the 94 car that is going to get back in the lead lap.
And Brian Refner going to do the same. The Ashton Lewis unscheduled pit stop, engine problems on his car.
Let's see, what you're going to do this time. Let's ask our man, Wally. Hey, Wally, BP, you going to pit?
Getting in, but it's a push as soon as I get after the wall.
All right, Wally, you going to pit?
I'm not sure yet. Moss hasn't told me, but probably. probably take a little bit, make a wedge adjustment here, take a little bit of bite out of the car. The car quits turning when I get after the gas. Gets in still good, but I got to just be a little bit softer on the gas pedal. And
all right, tell those guys in the pits what to do to it. We'll let Wally.
All right, we'll be coming in here. Just make sure you get a good in and out here. Hit the sign, okay? Be 4 tires and an adjustment here.
Tommy Baldwin, the owner of the car that Wally's driving. Tommy Baldwin Racing.
He sounds a lot calmer talking to Wally than he does talking to Ward.
Yeah, but this is stuff that Tommy paid for. So he's probably actually a lot more tense.
I don't think tense would be the word. He'd probably be more scared.
Yeah, that could be. All right, let's see how many of the leaders come in here. Got 68 laps to go. That's farther than anybody can make to the finish on fuel.
I would think so.
But here they all come, except for Scott Riggs. No, I take that back. That's the lap car of Kevin Grubb that stayed out. So Riggs is in also. Go ahead, Marty.
Michael Waltrip comes down pit road clinging to that lead. It was a little bit loose, or a lot loose, as he said, scaring himself, as a matter of fact. They talked about an air pressure adjustment. That is the route they will go. They will also make a wedge adjustment to Michael Waltrip's car. Jeff Burton comes down pit road. His car has actually gotten tighter, so they're going to go up 1 round on the track bar for Jeff Burton. It'll be 4 tires for all these guys. Dave.
David Gephardt and Pee Wee Hoyle are the new guys on the rear for Jason Keller. This time, Pee Wee made a wedge adjustment. Again, Jason complaining that the car was tight. 4 tires. Keller is gone.
And once again, Jason Keller has a better stop and will take the lead. Casey Kane has a great stop.
Well, that's all the proof that you need if you're Steve Addington that you made the right call. 2 pit stops, both times the guys got you out first. There's Wally coming out. We'll check where he stands as well as the rest of the pit road shakeup when we come back to Michigan on TNT. Coming up tomorrow here on TNT, our coverage of NASCAR continues with the Winston Cup Series Pepsi 400. We start with Discover Card Countdown to Green at 1:30 Eastern Time. The race for the championship on TNT tomorrow. All right, let's see. Wally came off pit road in 14th place as he gets ready to go back racing in the Pepsi car. Let's have a look in on Wall here. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
He's having a smack.
But when these tails get real hot, you can't unwrap them, so I'm doing the best I can here.
All right, let's let you in on the joke, okay? When Wally sits here in the booth with us, he has these things called cowtails. They're vanilla flavored with caramel and a few other things, and that's what he munches on while we're doing the broadcast.
And I can't imagine this being good in a hot race car.
And it's melted inside the wrapper, and he's trying to suck the thing out of the wrapper.
So we've decided that if Wally's going to do some more of these races, we've got to find these folks and pursue a sponsorship for him. Okay?
Unreal.
All right, we're in, what did I say he was again? 13th place now. He's moved up.
Must be the cowtails.
Yeah, little energy burst there, I guess. I don't know. All right, the race leaders, Jason Keller, 2 for 2 is that imported pit crew on their stops today. The beautiful orchestration that is a NASCAR pit stop.
Oh, it's just so wonderful. Looking out the back of Hank Parker Jr.'s GNC car, and Mike Wallace's front tire comes down, hits him in the rear, and the guy said, okay, do I go get that? No, I better carry my left front tire. Okay, let's put the tire on Mike. Okay, now go get my tire there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Okay, let's go racing. Jason Keller, Michael Waltrip, Todd O'Ryan, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Green, the top 5.
Get ready. Green, green, green.
We saw the green and yellow 91 car, Stanton Barrett. As we told you, a car that made an unscheduled pit stop is now a lap down.
And the 34, the silver and blue car, that is Steve Grissom, now driving for Jimmy Spencer. He also made that unscheduled stop. Oh, look at the jam up behind him. Wow.
And Scott Riggs goes blasting by. Jeff Green, the 21 car, got off the throttle, so Scott Riggs blasted to the inside. Green is weaving like he has a flat or something.
Well, he's trying to keep his tires scrubbed off. He must have got high and got into marbles a little bit, so he's using that long backstretch to try to clean the tires off, so when he gets to 3, he's got a good clean surface again.
Well, there you go.
This is all from 5th place on back.
Wally in the Blue car on the inside of Casey Mears. Meanwhile, Scott Riggs goes on the inside of Steve Grissom.
Casey Kane, nice job by the Robert Yates pit crew to get him some track position. Oh, a little bump draft here. Todd Bodine for the race lead in Michigan.
He gave up on the drafting part. He said, I got a good enough run. I'm just going to go on by you.
Todd, a two-time winner in Busch Series competition at this racetrack. 1992 and in 2000, he went to victory lane here. Marty?
And when he came off pit road, Alan, he thanked his crew. His crew told him, we owed you that one. The stop for Todd Bodine's team, 16.2 seconds, an excellent stop. They made a track bar and air pressure adjustment. Car's very good for Todd.
And we see Jeff Burton, the green car, the 9-game car on the inside of Michael Waltrip, trying to take away third.
By the way, that is the 14th lead change today. Next one gets the record, or equals the record.
Michael already going upstairs. That is the Michael Waltrip land up there.
Well, now,
he owns that piece of property there.
Originally, it was the Richard Petty groove. Then it became the Harry Gant groove. Now it's the Michael Waltrip groove. All right, upper left is Wally in the blue car. A 6 machine. He's moving up. That's 9th place he just took.
Going by Stacy Compton.
Not bad.
Marty, what's going on with Michael Waltrip's crew?
Well, Tony would appreciate this adjustment. He said he wanted a big adjustment because he was so loose he was scaring himself. Remember that? Down 4 rounds on the track bar. I would say that is in the large category of chassis adjustments.
He must have been scared. I've never asked for 4 rounds down, I don't think. That's a big adjustment right there. So it'll be interesting to see after about 10 laps, see how his car reacts then.
That's not necessarily what he asked for. Right.
No, but
he might have asked for a big adjustment, and that might have been what Bobby Kennedy had done.
That's a big adjustment. He got what he asked for.
Yeah.
But it's working okay for him because he's closing up on the back of Jason Keller in the 57.
Second place here we're watching. And remember, for Keller, I guess a little added air of caution has to be thrown in there now because he knows Greg Biffle, his rival for that Busch Series championship, is out with an engine problem. Biffle's going to finish 42nd today, period. So Keller can try and be a hero here, or he can make sure, he protects the top 5 and takes over the point lead.
But I think what the team did to go out and get four more crew guys to get them a good pit stop and what have you, I really think he needs to try to win the race. Think about winning the race more than anything else. And right now, it appears to be struggling just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not thinking about trying to win the race. I'm saying if his car isn't handling well in this kind of traffic, he probably has to think about being a little more conservative.
Yeah, but you have to be that way anyway. I mean, if he goes out there and if his car's loose and he's got 3 cars behind him and they're making it worse, he's not going to win the race whether he's in 40th in the points or leading the points. So he's just got to be a smart racer. He's done this long enough. He knows what to do. He knows when to push the car hard. He knows when to kind of just take care of his equipment and just ride for a little bit.
Second place, Jeff Burton is through.
Well, he passed Michael on the outside. How in the world he had guts enough to try to get on the outside of Michael Waltrip is beyond me.
Maybe those 4 rounds didn't help Michael's car at the top, so he's trying it at the bottom again. Todd Bodine is the leader. Just past halfway here at the Michigan International Speedway. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Michigan on TNT is brought to you by Parts and Repair Services from Sears. And by Serta. You'll feel the difference the moment you lie down. Serta, we make the world's best mattress. Todd Bodine is the leader of the Cabela's 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Michigan International Speedway took the lead at lap 63. We're at lap 73 now, and he is out in front of Michael Waltrip by 1.15 seconds. Strong drive for Todd. Started back in 19th place.
Now we see the 21 car, Jeff Green, has gotten by Jason Keller. Moved Keller back to the 6th position.
But again, the big story of the day, Keller's rival for the Busch Series title, Greg Biffle, went out at lap number 19 with an engine failure. He's going to finish 42nd today.
David Green on the apron of the racetrack trying to get by Scott Riggs. Has a great run. Will do it.
The reason he's doing that is he's just trying to break the air. You could stay in the draft, but if you stay close to a guy and you go past him, he's actually able to suck up right next to you and get the benefit of the draft too. So he cuts way down like that to get a bunch of air running in between him and break that draft.
But what happened to Jeff? He got so low going in one that he couldn't make the corner the way he wanted to. Had to slow down so much in the middle, and Scott Riggs passed him right back. You got to really make a wide entry down in turn one to get to the corner the way you should, don't you, Tony?
Well, it's actually a decreasing radius, which what we're talking about there is as you go into the corner, the further into the corner you go, the tighter the radius of the corner gets. So the wider of an entry you can make, the more you can square off the exit. The exit of turn two is actually the tightest part of the corner between 1 and 2. So the wider you can stay out, the more you can straighten up that exit.
Same thing that happened the last time. Only this time Green is able to get a run well enough to stay on the outside of Scott Riggs.
And I think that's actually where he really wants to be, because he's been running that high line, and as long as he can get it, he can stay on the outside where he can get a good entry into the corner, he can keep his momentum up that way.
So Jeff Green to 4th, Jason Keller to 5th, Scott Riggs back to 6th place. And got a little Hornets nest of racing going on back behind them too, involving our man Wally. Well, let's check this here. There's Keller working on Jeff Green. Now we check back. There's Casey Kane, Bobby Hamilton Jr., then Wally. Then behind them you've got Stacy Compton, Tony Range, and Casey Mears. Those three right there, Compton, Range, and Mears, are racing for 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yes, they were. All this is about 9 seconds behind the leader, Todd Bodine.
Not bad. He's having a good solid run.
And still, they go on with this.
That's about as high as we've seen Jason Keller all day. He's been able to stay really close to the yellow line down there on the bottom, and you know, I'm not sure that groove's really the fastest groove right now. The guys that are really running quick seem to be up around the top of the racetrack. I'm surprised. I haven't seen him go up there, Benny. I thought by now, after seeing all these other guys, especially the leaders, go up high, I thought he would at least try it once or twice.
Well, you'd think that he would try it, but obviously he has somehow. He's been up there once or twice and decided that his car just did not handle the way he wanted it up there.
48 laps to go here at Michigan. Todd Bodine is your leader. One round of pit stops still to come in this race. We come back to Michigan with the caution out. Ron Hornaday is spun off of turn number 2.
Oh, and that left front tire's coming apart, tearing the fender up.
Car's in the center.
Both left sides are flat.
Tell me again how the car is in the center of the corner.
I can control the center of the corner with a ratchet. I keep it locked.
Here's what happened to Ron.
On the inside of the 19 car, Tim Sauter, and he just didn't have that wall of air to lean against, and around it went.
Exactly. It takes that pocket of air off the right side of the spoiler, which just frees the car up. And a lot of times that's what happens here at Michigan if you get two cars that get that close together and you're already loose.
Plus, he's got the 48 car of Kenny Wallace right behind him. He had everything going against him, didn't he?
Exactly. There wasn't a positive situation for Ron there.
46 laps to go. All of the leaders are going to come in. They can make the finish from here on fuel with this stop. Okay, Marty.
Well, Michael Waltrip hits pit road in second place. His car is tight now. They're going to go up on the track bar. In front of him, Todd Bodine. No changes for this team. Remember, they won Kentucky, a track very similar to here at Michigan. Only 2 tires for Michael Waltrip. Dave Burns.
Marty, the chassis adjustment they made for Jason last time was too good. He got a little bit loose. Now they make a track bar adjustment to adjust for it. 4 tires, and Jason leaves pit, almost stalls it, and now he leaves pit road.
And troubles on the Todd Bodine stop. You saw, if you caught that box in the upper left, lug nut popped off on the right rear. They had to go back and pick it up and put it back on.
And all it takes. And we see still, looks like Hornaday has knocked an oil line or something off the car with that, and it's overheating. See the steam coming out the right side. That means that the radiator is overheating.
about Michael Waltrip's team taking right sides only there?
Well, you know something? Now he'll know for tomorrow's NASCAR Winston Cup race exactly what it's going to do. That's a big plus for him. It's a good thing you're going to watch this.
I'm not sure that's why he did that, though. I think he was. I think he's pretty confident with his car, thinking that 2 tires are probably going to be good enough for him to win this thing with those.
Wally was on and off pit road also.
Hey, Wally, how's it going?
Good, BP. Car's still a little bit tight. We keep bringing that track bar up. But I think that was probably our last stop. So what we got is what we got.
Okay, how you feeling? You're not tired. You don't need Tony, do you?
No, Tony can stay up in that nice air-conditioned booth. Oh, I got it under control, but I appreciate it.
Hey, did you run out of cowtails?
Yeah, this cowtail is pretty soggy right now, so I did the best I can with it. I got about half of it, though.
Well, all right, we'll be watching. Good luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
I guess we should. Oh, he just started to say something to us, I think. We shouldn't tell him that Tony broke into his stash of cowtails up here and decided he liked them, should we?
He'll be very disappointed come tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, Michael Waltrip with a 2-tire stop under this caution. A little strategy played out there. Several others took 2 tires as well. We'll recap the pit strategy for you in just a moment. We're under caution for the 4th time in the Cabela's 250 at Michigan for the NASCAR Busch Series. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Still under caution in Michigan, lap 81 being completed right now, and lap 125 will finish it. Bobby Kennedy, you decided to take 2 tires on Michael Waltrip's car. You got in the lead, but will you keep him there with only 2 tires?
Time will tell, but we'd already come up with this strategy this morning. He did this here about 3 years ago, and it worked for him. And you know, our left side wire has been excellent. Track position means a whole lot, so you know, we'll find out here in the next 40 laps, but I think we'll be okay.
Finished 2nd in this race 2 years ago, going after his 1st Michigan win. Alan?
All right, 1 lap to go before the restart. And restarts were a topic of conversation after the Watkins Glen race last Sunday. There's a spot on the racetrack that is the area in which the leader is supposed to restart the race. It's marked here at this racetrack by that cone and those 2 red lines on the outside wall just past the entrance to pit road.
Well, Tony, there was some controversy last week at Watkins Glen. Here you are. This is coming down, what, 1 lap to go. And you start back here, and up there's the cone.
We were having problems with our fuel system with the fuel pressure right about there was going dead and making the motor lay down going into the first turn. So they tell you it's in the vicinity of the cone. Now, vicinity is a big gray word.
So where do you think Michael should start?
Well, he's got to watch the guys behind him, and that's what we did too. I mean, part of the reason we took off where we did, we were watching Scott Pruitt and P.J. Jones and Robbie Gordon. They were all hanging back, and where the start-finish line was located at Watkins Glen, it's such a short distance off the last corner to the start-finish line and such a long distance from the start-finish line to the first turn. If they got a little bit of a run before they got to that line, they were able to get by you and clear you before they got to turn 1. So Michael has to watch these guys and see how much they're hanging back, and then he'll have to make his judgment from there.
Were you afraid you were going to get black flagged last week?
No, I mean, the thing about that, it's not a set spot on the racetrack, and this is exactly why. That's why the leader has the judgment, and he has the opportunity to pick up where he wants, because Michael sat there and being the leader of the race, now he was at a disadvantage being the leader.
Jamie McMurray, 27 car, goes blasting right through.
2 tires. Excuse me, no tires on that 27 car, and his stops, fuel only for him. Michael Waltrip, Joe Nemechek, Casey Mears, and Stacy Compton, 2 tires. And everybody else, the guys who were leading before, 4 tires.
But Tony, if NASCAR says that that's the point, it's got to be somewhere in that vicinity.
Exactly, somewhere in the vicinity. I mean, they said it was really close, and I was pushing the envelope on that, but I had to.
They did talk to you,
Sure. They talked to us about it, but we didn't do anything wrong. We just pushed the rule to its extent, and you know, that's what I'm supposed to do as a driver. I'm supposed to do anything that I can to protect my lead, and you know, we didn't go far enough that they felt like they had to black flag us.
Wow, Jason Keller. Todd Bodine goes by there with 3 wide for just a second off turn 2. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Here comes Michael Waltrip back on the inside.
Joe Nemechek in the 87 pushing his way through also.
And part of the reason Jamie McMurray got such a good restart, keep in mind, with not taking tires, his air pressures were already built up, so that's less rolling resistance. The guys that took 4, they have the most rolling resistance on the restarts. The guys that take 2, they're somewhere in the middle there. So his car was able to accelerate a little easier, but now that they're up to speed, now the pressures are coming up. Now the guys are going to kind of take that advantage away from Jamie.
Good point. And a new record. Busch Series lead changers at Michigan. And maybe not done yet.
I don't think we're done yet.
Here comes Nemechek. Nemechek started in 13th spot. Hasn't led yet today. He's going to now.
Well, maybe.
Oh, he'll put the slide job on. Oh, almost too good a slide job there. That was close. Lead change today. 10 different drivers have led.
One thing I know about slide jobs, we went to Dave Blaney's track in Sharon, Ohio this week and ran dirt modifieds, and I think in a 50-lap main I pulled 15 slide jobs on my way to a fourth place finish. And Blaney finished second, for those who want to know, but there's no such thing as a good or a bad slide job. You either make it or you don't make it. Yeah. If you make it, it's good. If you don't make it, it's bad.
Here comes the 92, trying to make up some of that track position. Remember, Todd Bodine was the leader before the stops. And Michael Waltrip right in the rim.
Back to the front. And right now, Jason Keller is back in the 10th position.
There's Jason 3 wide there with Stacy Compton pinned up on the outside and Jeff Burton in the middle.
Oh, Burton gets a little bit loose getting on 1, had to back off the gas in that 9 car. And here comes Wally Dolan back up on his back bumper.
Sticking it right in there. Pushing hard to get that spot.
Still there. Clear to 57. Now back inside. Back inside. 3 wide. You're up top. Now 2 wide.
That was not a good corner.
Hamilton Jr. 25 goes by Wally. Reigns at 33 car.
This will be now for 12th and 13th places they'll race for here. Here comes Todd Bodine in the 92.
He's fighting back after that bad pit stop, but I think he's got a car that's capable of winning this race. If he can get a little run of momentum here and get some clean air, I think he can catch these guys.
Scott Riggs, Jeff Green, 10 and 21. 6th and 7th place there. Just checking on Todd. He's only a second and a half back from Michael Waltrip.
And a lot of time left in this race.
Tony Raines in that 33 car has had a great drive today. I know he said it once before, but he started back in 35th place. And he's knocking on the door for a top 10 finish.
All right, here comes Todd Bodine. Tony, this might be this Excedrin car. If he can get by these cars, he might be trouble when this day's over.
I think he's going to be. I mean, he just made the pass for 3rd. He's got really good track position, good clean air. There's a good separation between Michael Waltrip and Joe Nemechek right now, so it's not a situation where he's going to have to worry about a lot of barrel push. He can go where he wants to go right now. He's probably the strongest car on the racetrack right now.
Marty's in the leaders, well, the guy who was the leader's pit.
Oh, we got trouble.
Kevin LePage was the pole sitter for today's race. Has been struggling with the handling of this car all day, and now he's into the wall.
And the caution flag is out.
Caught the tail end of Kevin saying to the crew, I don't know if the right front went down or what.
Well, you can't pit now, can you, Tony? I mean, give up all this track position?
Isn't this the same thing we said at IRP, though?
It looks like it's pushed in.
Okay, guys, be right sides only right here. Right sides only.
Yeah, that's why we said in Indy that Jason Keller and Greg Biffle shouldn't pit. They did, and ended up finishing 1-2.
But that's a short track. Now we're on a 2.5-mile super speedway where track position is definitely much more important than it was on the short track. So I honestly don't think they'll come in unless they feel like that their cars, the balance has really gone off. I don't think there's really an opportunity for them to come in right now without losing so much track position.
Well, the other thing is, too, you got 32 cars on the lead lap. So it's not like we're talking at Indy where there were 12 cars on the lead lap and you gave up 6 to pit. 32 on the lead lap now. Maybe 10 of them come down pit road. Maybe.
Definitely the guys in the back of the lead lap, they have nothing to lose, because if they're the back 10 cars of 30 cars in the lead lap, losing those 10 spots or thinking they pretty much know that they're probably going to come in, and there may be more guys in front of them even come in because they don't really have anything to lose. They've got the best opportunity to make their cars better right now, get some fresh tires on, and maybe that will help them get to the front toward the end. But the guys in the front, they can't afford to pit right now.
All right, let's see if anybody does make the move. First 8, 9, 10 are by.
Looks like Mike McLaughlin might be the first car. Let's talk to Michael Waltrip. Hey, Michael, Benny Parsons up at the TNT booth. You got me?
Yes, BP. How's it going?
It's okay. You're done pitting for the day, huh?
Well, the Aaron's Dream Machine is running well. Real proud of my team, Bobby Kennedy, the way he worked together with my crew chief Slugger on the Cup side. They just really do me a good job, and I'm just a lucky guy behind the wheel here, and I'm real proud to wheel this thing around here today.
All right, who are you really worried about back there behind you?
You said, am I worried about anybody behind me? Yes, I am.
Who would that be?
Because he's really fast. My radios break up, and I don't hear everything everybody says. But I heard you say, am I worried? Yeah, I'm worried. But I don't worry about anything. I pray about everything. And I just pray I can outrun him.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. I hope y'all are having a good time up there calling the action, and give me the props for the Cheryl's Crow posse up there in North Carolina.
Michael Waltrip leading here at Michigan with 33 laps to go. But the guy he is and should be worried about is Todd Bodine, quickly closing from third. Tomorrow here at the Michigan International Speedway, it's the Pepsi 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the pole. 1:30 Eastern Time is our coverage. NASCAR on TNT. Let's check up on Wally here.
Wally, Tony Stewart, you got us?
That?
This is Tony. What do you think? You got a shot at this thing?
I think we can pick off 5 or 6 of them. I don't know if we're good enough to win or not yet. I've been cranking rear braking this thing to help turn the car a little bit, but it's not going to be short of trying, I guarantee that.
Well, you've been around a hornet's nest of cars all day. Is there a lot of turbulence out there, and how's it affecting your car?
Yeah, when you're around 2 or more cars, it really takes the air off the nose. The rear of the car is good, but once you get around some other cars in traffic, it just quits gripping in the front and won't turn. So you'll get to have all this fun tomorrow.
All right, pal, go get him.
The dreaded arrow push.
Yeah. Wally's running in 12th right now, behind leader Michael Waltrip. They are a little more than a lap away from the restart, so we'll take a break here and come back for the final 30 laps at the Michigan International Speedway. NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Michigan on TNT is brought to you by Aaron's. Furniture, electronics, appliances, and computers at the guaranteed lowest price. By Mobil 1, the more you know about new Mobil 1, the better it is for your car. And by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. Napa Field summary from today's race. Record number of leaders and lead changes. 19. The previous record was 15 here at Michigan. And actually, we equaled the record number of leaders with the 92 and 96 race. Big story among the out of the race. Greg Biffle, point leader, went out at lap number 19 with an engine failure. He'll finish today 42nd.
Now this time, Michael Waltrip got a great restart on Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, the tire pressures are up. Everybody's on the same plane, or same level playing field now as far as air pressures are concerned. So no disadvantage for him on this restart.
And here comes Todd Bodine, the 92 car.
Going for second place. Got a car up high in turn 2. That's Casey Mears.
Oh, man.
Who was 5th on the restart. Big problems there. Tough break. Matt, what happened?
Alan, he came on the radio after a spotter, Mike Kalanoff, stopped spotting him going into 1. He says, I went from 3rd to 4th, and then it all just blew apart. Johnny Richardson isn't sure if it's the engine that's starting to come apart or the transmission, more than likely the transmission.
And for the lead, here comes Todd Bodine.
Now, this is 2 classic lines. Michael running the outside line, Todd Bodine running the bottom line. Which one is going to prevail?
And this late in the race, if Todd can stay on the bottom like that, he has got a good handling race car. It's hard to keep your car staying down like that.
Well, I don't know about which line is going to prevail, but I got an idea which car is going to prevail. Marty, that 92 is strong.
Very strong, Alan. That was the one car Michael Waltrip was worried about on the radio. A lot of conversation between Todd Bodine and the spotter. They wanted to get around Joe Nemechek as soon as possible. Their goal was to pass him on the first lap of this run. They did that. Now they're going after Michael. Todd really likes the bottom, like you guys talked about, but as the longer he goes, he really likes the middle part of the racetrack when his tire gets hotter.
And that's where he is now in the middle of the racetrack, trying to keep that momentum going. Looks like he's got it down the backstretch.
Not yet. Michael driving it in on the outside.
Seems like the guys that go in really high on the outside, they can go in deeper into the corner, but the guys on the bottom are able to get back in the gas harder sooner. So it's almost a trade-off.
And on battle for 3rd spot, Jason Keller, who will now be the Busch Series points leader, trying to take 3rd away from Joe Nemechek.
It just has appeared all day long with Keller's car like he's been better than other people in the opening few laps after the start or a restart. And then as the laps go on, he slows down and backs up a little bit. So he's got to get it while he can. Was I close on that 57, Dave?
And the one thing, Alan, that you might that I noticed on the radio was that Jason said during that caution, pretty good right there. In other words, at the end of that last run, he was better than he's been all day. So hopefully they balanced out that car.
Todd regroups, makes another charge at Mikey.
Boy, Todd is trying those different lines. He's trying the middle. He's trying the bottom of the racetrack. And man, he has got some horsepower. Look at that 92 go down the backstretch.
It's also just a slipstream. It's kind of like a V. It's kind of like watching geese fly in a V formation. If you can get on the guy's
Keep digging. Now you got him.
If you can get on his left rear like that, that'll suck you up to him. But as soon as you get ahead of him, then the V is going the opposite direction. That's the guy on the outside. So
Stay with it.
Todd Bodine's radio we're listening to. It was a transmission on Casey Mears' car. Kevin LePage is done for the day. Suspension problems after he got into the outside wall over there off turn 2.
there's a good possibility. Keller's starting to close in on these guys. Oh, hand signal by Mikey. I think he was saying you're buying dinner tonight.
Yeah. Sure, that's it. Thank you.
Meanwhile, while these guys are playing, here's a guy that's not playing, Jason Keller.
Oh.
Now Michael's going to have a little take that.
This is the best thing that Jason Keller could ask for. These guys are worried so much about each other, they don't realize that here comes Keller. We're calling Keller the catfish. He hasn't been off that bottom hardly all day.
Bottom feeding. Very, very nice.
That's it, baby. We gotta go. Gotta go.
Somebody write that.
Good to go, buddy. Good to go.
Made that up all by yourself?
Actually, I gave that nickname to my sprint car driver.
Oh, Jason Keller blows up. Keller loses an engine going in turn 3.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Just blew up. It's still running. It's a B-box. It's a B-box.
B-box is not going to help the smoke, boys.
Not at all.
22 laps to go. He's running third. His rival for the championship's been in the garage since lap 19. smoke.
I don't know, I just smoking real bad. Getting vibrating really bad.
When they start vibrating like that, they don't fix themselves. There's nothing you can do with wiring or fuel system. It's not going to make that problem any better.
Okay, Dave.
Now they look under the hood. There's not a lot of oil up under the hood, which is a usual sign that the motor has blown, but they're going to check the left side of the motor, check the block, see what they can see. And Jason says to him now, we did what we needed to do, we did what we could do, and it looks like they're just calling it quits. It just quit.
Jason is going to finish 34th.
That's too bad.
Greg Biffle's going to finish 42nd. He gained some points on him today, but boy, what it could have been. Now, how about that? After Michael Waltrip on 2 tires and Todd Bodine on 4 from their last pit stop, after Michael fought him off and fought him off and fought him off, he's gapped him and pulling away.
But now Michael's concern is the 9 car, Jeff Burton. He goes up, tries to take that second spot away from Todd Bodine.
The smart thing, Michael did what he had to do. He made Todd really, really work hard down on the low side there to get by. And keeping him down there kept making him have to pinch the car down to the bottom of the racetrack to stay underneath Michael coming up off. And that's really hard on the tires. So Michael being able to stay up on the outside, he was able to run his line and make Todd have to work a lot harder just to try to stay with him or get by.
Checking the championship standings. They were 82 points apart coming into the race, Biffle and Keller, so Jason will just about cut it in half. But boy, what it could have been.
What could have been. Here's Wally. You see, this is a battle for 9th, 10th, 11th. Oh, that loses spot. Casey Kane on the inside in the 98.
Poor Wally cannot get out of the crowd all day today. I don't think he's had clean air the whole race.
Here we go for second. 9 car, Jeff Burton just not able to get up underneath Todd Bodine. What's happened to that 92, Marty?
Well, I think they may have made some contact with Michael Waltrip on the racetrack, maybe bit in the fender. Todd's asked his spotter to look at it. His spotter says he can't see anything, but Todd has really picked up a bad push. They think that's what's wrong with the car.
And that might have been the source of Michael Waltrip's displeasure earlier, too.
Well, going by just there, you can see the right front fender there. It looks like it's out pretty good, so I don't think he made too much contact. And if he did push the fender, and he didn't push it in bad enough to make it push as bad as it seems.
Wally's still in the soup.
Wally is the soup today. He is struggling with traffic.
But he's mixed it up.
Oh, here's Jimmy. He's going to make it 3 wide.
We're looking to make it 3 wide on the bottom. 3 wide on the bottom, you're up top. You're up top. And clear to 98, now 2 wide.
I'll give him credit. At least he keeps gassing it up. He keeps on off in the 3 on the outside. He's not scared to haul her off.
Oh! Jimmy came off the corner and almost hit the wall.
Top of 27 on the bottom.
Had to back up a little bit. When he did, Wally almost got in the back of him. Oh, that's exciting now. I'll tell you one thing, Wally's got a good seat.
98 still down low.
Need to pay Wally spotter time and a half because he's worked hard enough to spot for 2 Busch races.
36 pushing you still there and clear to 98. Clear all around. Back on the bottom, 98.
And look here, Scott Riggs, the 10 car, has joined that battle for the 2nd spot.
And again, just like what Michael did to Todd, now Todd's doing this to Jeff. And it's not that he's not doing anything wrong. He's doing what he has to do as a race car driver. He's making Jeff Burton go on a part of the racetrack that he probably doesn't really want to be, but it's the only place to get by.
And when Burton was right down on the bottom of the track there in the middle of 1 and 2, the back end of his car has made this big lurch. So he's got his hands full trying to run that spot. All right, Jason Keller's car has gone back to the garage. Matt?
And Alan, the first question that Jason asked me was, where is Greg Biffle running? And you didn't know that he'd fallen out.
No, I was too much worried about my own hot rod, but just had a fantastic race car and had great pit stops and just unfortunate, but anytime we run up front, it's going to be too disappointing.
4 straight races coming into Michigan. Keller had lost points to Biffle. He will gain some today, but not what he could have.
Boy, this is tense here. Second place now going on well behind leader Michael Waltrip, Todd Bodine, Scott Riggs, Jeff Burton. Really been going at it.
And Todd was worried about contact between Michael Waltrip and him shoving his fender in. He's doing his own share of shoving his own fenders in right now, it looks like, after watching the front stretch last lap.
Now Todd's really got a problem because the 10 car is going to try to pass him on the bottom. Uh-oh. The 9 car is going to try to pass him on the top. Now, what does Todd do in this situation?
Poor Todd needs to keep doing what he's been doing. I mean, I think he's in the spot on the racetrack where everybody's wanting to be right now, but right there, being behind the 77 car, probably made his car a little bit tight. Look, Scott Riggs right to the bottom.
Around the lap car, the 77 is Jimmy Kitchens.
Meanwhile, Scott Riggs has gotten by these guys, but Michael was pulled out by a little over 3 seconds on him.
You see how Scott Riggs, when he got by, he was able to, Todd's car is probably a little bit too tight right now to where when Scott got ahead of him, made his understeer condition even worse. That gave Jeff Burton just enough time to get enough momentum to go by. But he didn't get by.
And Bobby Hamilton Jr., the 25 car.
You got him now, don't let him back by you. Still all clear. Clear.
Here's the radio to Scott Riggs, the 10. Now in second place. Pretty good drive today for Scott in his first Busch Series try here at Michigan. As a Truck Series race, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series effort from a year ago. But this would be his first Busch Series try here today.
Jeff Burton about trying to get by Todd. Brian Redmond on the zero car, they'd go by.
9 cars inside right now. Just keep it going. You're still all clear. All clear, buddy.
All right, Burton finally gets by. Oh, block a little bit there, boys. There you go.
And that's what I hate to see in our series. I hate to see a guy that blocks like that. I mean, basically, Todd did a good job of you know, Jeff got up there and got the run, got up in front of him. Todd got a good run, and then go to block a guy like that. I don't think that's right, but you know, it's just something that seems to be a common occurrence in our series nowadays, that more guys are blocking these days. But, you know, I think if a guy gets a run, just like Jeff did, I mean, nobody blocked Jeff to get up ahead of him coming off a 2, so I'm not sure that was the right thing to do.
Be 10 laps to go next time for leader Michael Waltrip. As we continue to watch the great race for second spot, Michael has checked out on these guys. Almost 4 seconds he's put on this fight for second place. Behind these cars, back to 5th place Hamilton Jr. You've got Jeff Green in 6th, Joe Nemechek 7th, Stacy Compton 8th, Jimmy Spencer 9th, and Casey Kane in 10th. Top 5 run for Hamilton Jr. so far, Dave.
And Alan, he was about 20 car lengths back at this group when they started racing each other. And of course, the coaching on the radio was, hey, these guys are either going to race each other or wreck each other. Keep plugging, you'll catch him. And by golly, he did. They've been cranking on the track bar all day, a little bit at a time, trying to loosen up his race car. And they've got it right where they want it. He can race with him now.
His wife Stephanie, get on. I tell you, Jeff Burton has worked, I think, about as hard as anybody right now. He keeps working that bottom, and his car obviously doesn't want to go there. But if he's going to pass anybody, they're all running high. He's got to go down there.
And Jeff's really good at this track. Jeff Burton knows how to pass here, and I can promise you, he's not leaving anything on the table right now. He's pulled every trick out of his bag that he's got. If he can't get by, it's not because he's not trying, that's for sure.
Hamilton Jr. trying that yellow line. And here we go again.
One coming at you inside.
And they just keep pulling each other back to each other with the draft there.
Good run on the bottom for Burton this time. I think he's finally got him. And here comes Jeff Green up to the outside of Hamilton Jr. for 5th place.
And look look at Jeff Burton already going for that second spot. Well, he made a terrific corner up in 3 and 4, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Just use that momentum to pull up in the draft and get enough of a run on him that he didn't have to pack the air if he just slingshotted by.
But Scott Riggs pulled up right behind Jeff Burton and got him loose to the point he had to back up off the throttle. Now they're 3 wide in 3.
Okay, who gives? Back to 2 wide. Maybe.
Inside. You clear behind the 9. Clear behind the 9. 92's inside.
Wow. Riggs didn't get off that corner at all.
92.
The hard thing is he was stuck in the middle of those 3 cars, and he was actually the first car. So we were talking about that V earlier. He was the front car with a car on each side. Both of those cars were able to pull his car back, which gave both of those guys the momentum. It killed his entry speed into 3, killed the whole corner speed. So that's why he got off with forcing that.
Marty?
Well, if you watch what Scott Riggs is doing, I think they may have selected the wrong gear for today. You'll notice that when he comes off the corner, he's able to catch cars, but at the end of the straightaway, they start to pass him. So they think they may have the wrong gear in the car. He'll catch him middle of the corner off, but he will have problems when they get to the end of the straightaway. They can pass him back.
Jeff Green through Todd Bodine. That'll be 3rd place for that 21 car for Richard Childress.
In other words, Marty, I guess what you're saying is they have too much gear in the car, that they have the power off the corner, but they're running out of motor when they get down the end of the straightaway?
Correct. They have a little more gear than everyone else.
I got you. Thank you.
I'll tell you now, if tomorrow's race is half what today's race was, it's going to be a blast.
So, Tony, tomorrow, please, if you're out front, play back, race with these guys. Make it fun. See how much fun we're having up here today?
Trust me, as competitive as the Cup Series is, I don't think we're going to have to worry about that too much.
Got to come from 24th starting spot tomorrow, so you'll be coming up through traffic for a little while.
Yeah, but that's a very familiar starting spot here for me. I always start in the mid-20s for some reason. We never really qualify that well here, but our race package has always been really, really good here.
21 lead changes in this race today. 10 different guys have been out in front. We've had some fun watching Wally throughout the day. Looks like he might come up just shy of a top 10 finish, but for the first time in a NASCAR race car in a year, not bad. We'll give him some props.
And he's finally in some clean air, so he can at least catch his breath finally. I think they wore him out. Woo! Sound like a little bit too tight there. We had to check up a little bit, but I think he's done a great job today to come out of retirement like that and not race with these guys week in and week out. I think he's had a very, very solid run today.
And you use the R word. Ooh, he won't like that.
Yeah.
You use the R word.
Resting?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I'll say he was resting for a while.
So Wally in 12th place. Solid run for him and the Pepsi team today. I look forward to him joining us tomorrow for our coverage of the Winston Cup race. I'll tell you, Michael Waltrip looked like he was done. He took 2 tires on that pit stop back at lap number 79. We all questioned whether that was the right call or not. Todd Bodine with the 4 fresh tires came out of the pack, caught him, got alongside him, and Michael would not give up.
And the amazing thing is, in watching Michael Waltrip 10 or 15 laps ago, as you look at the speeds as you go by each lap, I saw Michael Waltrip run faster laps than I've seen anyone all day long with just changing 2 tires. So I really believe that tomorrow in tomorrow's Winston Cup race, we'll see a lot of teams change 2 tires.
And a lot of the crew chiefs are watching the race, and they're watching just for that reason, trying to see who takes 2 tires, what the reaction is, just like we were watching another crews down in the Busch Series today. We're watching each other to see after that first set of stops who took 2, who took 4, who took none, to see how the cars were going to react. Just like the Busch guys were coming down after the first practice to see what the Cup cars were doing. The Cup guys do the same thing watching the Busch Series race to get that knowledge also.
Coming to 2 laps to go for Mikey. His advantage over Jeff Burton still better than 3.5 seconds. There would be Buffy. Now it says Michael's wife. This day today, this is Michael's car owner. Buffy owns the race team.
It's not a bad car owner to have.
Nope. She's obviously done her job well.
And you can tell she's seasoned. She doesn't even look the least bit nervous up there. She's just hanging out and watching.
Pop quiz, last Busch Series win for Michael Waltrip.
Wasn't it here?
No. No. Charlotte, October 99. Remember when he was second to Mike McLaughlin and Mike ran out of gas? Like,
that's right.
Coming off turn 2 on the last lap. Fuel will not be a problem today. 2 more miles around for Michael Waltrip.
Sometimes that could be the problem, 2 more miles, but everything has worked perfectly so far.
A season that started off on most difficult terms for Michael. Performance struggling in that Napa car for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Some questioned whether he'd keep his job. Then in April, a big turnaround for that team. And Michael's on top of the world right now. His contract extended. He's won a race on the Winston Cup side. And now this Busch Series team that he and Buffy own are going to go to victory lane as well. It'll be NASCAR Busch Series win number 9 for Michael Waltrip. He takes the checkered flag and wins the Cabela's 250 at Michigan. 2-tire stop did the trick. Waltrip wins by 3.9 seconds over Jeff Burton. How about Wally racing for a spot on the last lap?
And it's going to be, looks like Hank Jr. just beating for that 13th spot.
14th on the day for Owen Wall. Michael Waltrip, a good day. And you notice the leaderboard very heavily laden with Winston Cup guys. We said at the top of our broadcast, no race practice for the Busch Series yesterday because of the weather. Top 4 guys in this race, all Winston Cup drivers. Marty?
Well, Bobby Kennedy, you said on lap 79, we'll see if 2 tires was the right call, and I think it was.
Yeah, it turned out that way. I got a little worried of seeing that 92 coming, but, you know, like I said, we made a decision this morning that we're going to do, and we stuck by it, and it worked.
Very good for you guys. They finished second twice before this year, their first win of 2002.
Come on.
Okay, let's see. Do we do the donuts?
We're going to try.
Or do we just take the victory parade?
Oh, he's slowing down. This is going to be expensive.
I think this is just a grandstand wave to the fans.
But keep in mind, he's got his own money in this one, so he might be a little easier on the transmission, the clutch, the motor.
Let's not bend up that drivetrain just to burn up a set of tires. Michael Waltrip wins here in Michigan today. He led the final 22 laps en route to victory. All total led the most laps today, 52 of the 125 laps on 7 different occasions.
While we're waiting on Michael to get to victory lane, let's check with Wally. Hey, Wally, BP.
Hey, BP.
All right, finished, let's see, 14th. Not bad. Congratulations.
I hated giving those 2 up the last couple laps, but I just couldn't do anything with this thing in 3 and 4. But had a blast. I'm glad. Thank you for giving me the day off so I could do this.
That's no problem. Tony filled in very well for you.
Well, I'm going to get out and have a cold Pepsi. Okay, I got my commercial in. And be in the booth tomorrow.
All right, look forward to it.
Tommy Baldwin Racing and Wally getting that 14th place finish out of the day today. Had some fun watching him, giving him a hard time. For Michael Waltrip, he had recorded a couple of second-place finishes with this team already this year. The season opener down at Daytona, also at Las Vegas. He's finished as high as second here at Michigan before in his Busch Series car. And he outruns Jeff Burton to the checkered flag today by nearly 4 seconds. While we wait for Mikey, let's check with the runner-up.
Well, he made a heck of a run after his 3rd win of the season. I think the quote of the day goes to you. You said this car has gotten worse every time we've pitted today, so I guess it got better there at the end.
Well, it really didn't. We were really bad loose there, and that's why I couldn't clear Todd. Todd blocked the outside pretty good, and just when you're loose and you're on the inside of somebody, it's just so hard to get by them. And it was a great effort. It's a brand new car, never seen a racetrack, and real proud of my guys. They did a good job. Just weren't quite as good as we needed to be when it counted. I drove hard today. We just weren't like we needed to, and I'm pretty wore out from a Busch race. That's not normal.
Well, a tired young man comes on with a nice 2nd place finish today, Alan.
Michael Waltrip has become the 14th different NASCAR Busch Series winner in this 2002 season in 23 races. And he's in the winner's circle now. That dream machine is pretty much a dream today. How about it, Dave?
Michael Waltrip gets out of the Aaron's Dream Machine, acknowledges this huge Busch Series crowd, and hops on down here. And you know what? We thought this race was over when Todd Bodine caught up to you with 4 fresh tires. Did you know that you had this thing?
No, but he ran into me. And so I tried to wait till he's exactly beside me, and I swerved at him and tried to cave in his right front fender. And I don't know if he did it or I did it, but after that he wasn't so good anymore. But, you know, when you're racing for the win, you're not supposed to run into a guy. And he did.
Show us, Macy gave you a good luck charm today, Michael. Do you attribute some of that? Macy, what did you give your dad today? What is that? That's some sort of a magnet?
Show him the magnet.
That was what she picked for his good luck charm.
Good job, Mace.
I guess Macy's going to get to pick the good luck charm again next time. Is that probably safe to say?
Macy and Caitlin and Buffy just inspire me. I love my family. I love my mom. I'm thankful we could win for you, Mom. And all the folks in Cheryl's Ford that work so hard on this car. It's pretty cool. Daryl and I just made a bunch of commercials for Aaron's. And Kim Butler wanted me to win at Bristol when we debuted the commercials. I always get things mixed up. Say hi to everybody back at the shop, especially Randall. Randall's been a little down, but, buddy, I hope this picks you up, and we'll see you back at the shop soon.
All right, a win like this, Mikey's going to pick up a lot of people. Matt?
Well, David, looked like a win possibly for Todd Bodine, and then that fender damage, Todd.
Yeah, I don't know what Mikey's crying about. I barely got into him. I could have kept on pushing him and spun around in the infield, but I didn't. And the next lap, he body slammed me, bent the fender in. Then the car pushed after that. It's a shame. We had the fastest car, but Cedrin team did a great job all weekend. Had awesome pit stops. Everything went right. We had a good car. Just a shame we got the fender bent in at the end.
Todd Bodine finishes 4th.
All right. Well, this one's been interesting, hasn't it?
There you go.
Little strategy, a little on-track confrontation. And the final results today from here in Michigan. Waltrip gets the W. He's in the winner's circle. Big story on the championship today. Jason Keller and Greg Biffle. Biffle fell out at lap 19. Looked like Keller could gain a lot of points on him today, but then Keller fell out with 22 laps to go while running 3rd, and he winds up way back in 35th position. So we check the NASCAR Busch Series championship standings at the conclusion of today's race. And what was there it is, 56 points between the two now at the end of the day today. All right, coverage of NASCAR Winston Cup. What a race we had today in the NASCAR Busch Series. 21 lead changes among 10 different drivers. But it was all over. The veterans ruled the day. Michael Waltrip's team with a 2-tire stop and then a little on-track confrontation with Todd Bodine wound up in victory lane with the winner's trophy and the checkered flag. 1:30 Eastern Time coverage begins tomorrow of the Pepsi 400 here in Michigan. Hope you'll join us.